from start to finish. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would going in. Maybe perhaps it was because it was a live band. There was a lot of rock songs, and I enjoy like rock music and things like that because I grew up with those kind of music back in the days. So the thing is, right, what surprised me the most is that how many of like Tomorrow By Together songs that I actually know. The one that I heard at Olive Young, Devil by the Window, it was playing in the store. I was trying to pick the foundation color. I don't really know how to do like makeup. I went back to Korea and then I was like, it's time to start learning because I'm going to turn 30 soon. So yeah, and I thought it was a really interesting song. It's a rendition of Peter Pan, Devil by the Window. That was actually the song that made me become quite interested in thinking that, oh, maybe I'll start trying to listen to 4th generation K-pop. Number one, their English in that song was very good. And two, it was like a rewriting Peter Pan, but not really. I wonder if they had like the original source material, because Jay and Barrie, who wrote Little White Bird, it wasn't actually, you know, like the Peter Pan that in like the Disney movie, and the ending is very, very cruel. The book talks about the cruelty of children and how children are quote-unquote heartless until they grow up. And the ending, it kind of cements that. So I think it's very interesting that they decided to play with that idea, write a song where Peter is like the devil. I found that really interesting because I wonder if they were working with the original source material, or were they thinking of the Peter Pan that, you know, we know it in like mainstream culture, and then trying to like subvert the narrative in music. And I think that's a very interesting rewriting, or should I say, you know, fan fiction. Neverland 안녕. I like what they did with that, equating growing up to free falling. I think that's a very interesting analogy, as if there is an inevitability to it, that eventually you would have to leave your childhood behind. Growing up, but free falling. So that has a very, not Kierkegaard, it's very Heideggerian. It has elements of Heideggerian ontology, which I found really interesting, you know, the state of thrownness. The state of being thrown into the world. Heidegger was the German philosopher who coined the word angst. It's like a very profound mood that rises from the awareness of our thrownness. And I find that interesting that they are singing about the state of being thrown and free falling into adulthood. What else did I want to talk about? I should have written it down because my brain. I'll look into recurring themes. Right, so I think they have a lot of, surprisingly for me, coming from, you know, 2nd gen, Tomorrow By Together has a lot of like English songs or like English renditions to the songs. So their songs all have this like recurring theme of time, magic, friendship, and things to do with like dreams. And also, I don't know if I can say the word bestiality, animal, human, which is very anti-Rousseau, I would argue. Yeah, just, you know, like the hierarchy of, you know, human beings in Christianity, how, you know, human was created in order, according, was it the snake or God, telling Adam that human were created in order to rule over the animal kingdom. It's like a Christianity thing. It's not a Buddhist thing, because Buddhism, humans are also a type of animal, and also scientifically we are, right? So what I find really interesting about Tomorrow Together's music is that there was a lot of analogies equating the cell to an animal. Literally, there's a song like, was it cat and dog? It's not even like turn me in from a human into a cat, it's turn me from a cat into a dog. That's a really interesting flattening of the human stratification. So that was interesting. Bit that really got to me. I didn't know if I misheard the lyrics. Oh, it was in Good Boy Gone Bad. Was it Kai? Where he was twitching. Another rock song? Oh my god. What was the lyrics again? I didn't hear that wrong. But the tail. Oh. And then he said, "You made me wag my tail" or something. Who wrote it? Oh my god. Okay, that got to me. And also, whoever came out with the choreography, good job. That was really effective. I was shocked. In my mind, I was like, what is going on? Did I mishear that? Because I was just so used to just reading things, right? And then you just have one thing and then your brain, and then that's it. But then I'm seeing this move that's happening that coincides with the lyrics. So I'm not sure if I misheard the lyrics because I saw him twitching as if he's wagging his tail. These young men twitching as if they're wagging their tail. That was something. That was... So that's one recurring theme. The next thing is it fan fiction? It's not like an auto-fictive thing that happens, but it's more like the retelling of fairy tales, which has strong ties to their theme of magic. I found that interesting as well. Was it the song Golden Hour? No, it wasn't Golden Hour. It was something, one of the colors. Orange, purple, blue. Is it blue? Blue hour? Green? Pink? And I think it's blue because blue sounds... It makes more sense. Oh yeah, blue, magic. Okay, that makes more sense. Blue Hour. That song, I found that song interesting as well. It started off time magic. That was interesting. It's also talking in retrospect about something that is happening, which is, something I do with my writing as well. I always try to evoke nostalgia, but for the present. So I think that's what they were doing, and it was very interesting. It's like a very magic spell thing that happens to the sound, to the aural sensations that happens. The lyrics talks about time being turning back or something to that effect. Yeah, temporality. Very recurring theme, and I can see a narrative arc moving towards a Neverland Anyo. It's about, not wanting to grow up and then reaching the inevitable where you have to say goodbye, and you realize in retrospect as well, right, that it's time for me to become an adult. And usually when these things, that moment happens, it happens sequentially in your life, but you always realize in retrospect that you are becoming an adult. You're looking at the past and then you realize, I'm doing all of these things that are very adult-like, so I guess I'm an adult now. And what's interesting is that when they talk about time and growing up, the name of the group is Tomorrow, but their songs is about looking back and about this struggle between what we are now and trying to not even just, moving forward. All the songs are about looking back into the past and how to become dasein. It's very dasein, how to become now, how to become the self as is now. I find that really interesting because, in my writing, I do a lot of writing about trauma narrative. When you're in survival mode, it's about now and how can you, not be hindered by the past. It's just something that I'm interested in, how they kind of convey the relationship between past and present, using the past as something to reflect on the present without much thinking about the future. In my head, I'm thinking of the song Good Boy Gone Bad because they were reflecting on the past as well and about what they've become now. As I mentioned with Blue Hour, it's also about, wishing to turn back time or stopping the clock because they want to be in the present. But their present is very nostalgic of the past. They want to stop time because they do not want to move on from the past. It's the sense that I get, which is interesting. However, their group name has the word tomorrow in it. Fascinating, and I would like to think about it more. Perhaps I have an opinion or an argument. An argument is in an academic argument. I'm not saying I'm gonna go fight someone. It's just, an academic argument. Basically an opinion. What else? Lusa Lava. I'm not sure if the lyrics, they're just trying to be cool or they're trying to make some social commentary on capitalism. There was a line that I liked that beomgyu sang. I'm not sure if the other members also sang that line or if it was in the chorus, but I just remembered it when beomgyu sang it. So what he sang was something I already translated it in my head, so I can't translate it back. I remember the feeling, and the feeling was about how even though they're a loser in life, falling in love makes them a winner. Their object of affection makes them the winner. Makes them a winner, even though they're a loser. I like that line. But in terms of the name of the song and the chorus, lover with a dollar sign is a loser. I'm not sure if it's a critique on capitalism or it's some kind of personal vendetta against rich people falling in love. I'm sure these boys are really rich too, so what are you saying? But the irony is not lost on me though, which I find funny. They are rich, but they're singing a song about how being a rich lover makes you a loser. That seems to be the argument. Another thing for me to think about. I'll do a proper kind of close reading, close watching, close listening of this. Oh, she must be so fun to work with during rehearsals. Does she have a Chinese character tattoos? She's very cute, very lively, and she's just like a ball of tiny energy. Her outfit was really cute. It's a style that only she can pull off, I think. During the rehearsal, it must have been fun to like hang out with her. I mean, she's just very bubbly and very, very cute. I'm saying this because I assume that she's younger than me, because everyone like always ends up being younger than me these days. So I mentioned that like Can't You See Me theme, was it the opening verse, but it was like one of the early verses that was equating something to a very specific type of flower. Was it a flower even? It was something. But my point is, they went very like specific with the analogy, because most songs, right, especially like pop songs, it's just very generic in terms of metaphors, trying to capture like the visual element or the emotional temperature of a song happens in the sound and the music, right? And the lyrics are just helping like convey that. The feature of the song is the sound. Can't You See Me? It was very specific. There was a flower analogy that happens in the lyrics that really stayed with me. But the song Cat and Dog was very interesting. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the hip thrust that happened. I was so distracted. Did it happen in Cat and Dog? But it wasn't supposed to be sexual, right? The song. It was just, a lively, fun song. But it can be read in a sexual way if one wishes to. But that hip thrust kind of just cement the song in like a hypersexualized way, which I did not expect to like happen. I'm supposed to be dead inside, so it did offend me because it was very effective. It was a very effective move, and I do not appreciate it. I appreciate that it was effective. I did not appreciate how it affected me. I can't even focus right now. What the? No. He looks so proud of himself. He looks so proud of himself. I don't want to feel anything anymore in this life. I want to be able to speak about intensity without speaking intensely. I'm trying to think of a song that wasn't rock, the anti-rock song about wanting to be a rock. I think it's a very clever song. It's a cute song, captures my vibe right now as someone who grew up with like rock song and like alternative and goth bands, and now I'm just like, as you can see, I like that they captured my feelings, and I also don't like that they captured my feelings, because how dare you describe me. I feel too seen. I don't like feeling too exposed, which is why anytime something that perfectly aligns with my sense of self happens, I sublimate. I don't know why I do that. I'm still trying to undo the damages my childhood has done to me, but that's one of the things that happens. When I like something, I always choose the second thing that I like, or even the third thing. Did I do that in order to get accepted by society? I'm not sure. But I never say things how I really, really feel. It gets to the point after so many years of growing up like that I have no sense of how I feel. It's very hard for me to distinguish my emotions. When I do feel something, right, I do have these kind of outbursts that happens, and I would not understand why I'm feeling this way, why I'm reacting this way, because I don't understand what's going on, because I've just been denying the emotional climate that happens inside me so much that I'm not able to recognize it. But anyways, I'm talking about myself. I need to stop talking about myself. So the song about wanting to be a rock, the top three. My top three songs from Lollapalooza, Wishlist, Dear Sputnik, and the rock song, the anti-rock song about wanting to be a rock. I like that one. Okay, so let's go into the members. Let's start with Soobin. I liked his hair. I liked it a lot. I used it, I don't know why, but these days, as I grow older, aesthetically speaking, aesthetically attracted to, and that's not the same as sexually attracted or romantically attracted, it's just aesthetics. These days, I like boys, long black hair. I'm really into that vibe. I don't know if it's because I want to be that person or I find it attractive, but Soobin looked good from every angle. There was no angle where he did not look perfect. He has a very classic flower boy. He's like the classic standard of what a flower boy should look like. If I saw him down the street, I would be like, that's a Korean person out of a K-drama. Secondly, he's very tall. My point is, he looked good. Second, I guess we have to talk about yeonjun because he's the oldest. I don't know what to say. I just don't know. Oh no, I don't trust him. His existence offends me. I just have this like strange combination of feelings inside of me. It's a strange combo of offense, terror. I'm scared of him. I am humbled. I feel humbled when I see him perform because he's very good. He's obviously very good at what he does. He just has that, that quality of you look at him, you're just like, this boy, has dedicated the majority of his life to the craft. And just 수고하셨습니다. Very good at what he does, very talented, knows exactly what to do in order to get someone who's dead inside to react. I'm saying this from personal experience, obviously. I was trying to be very Zen, very Buddhist, and he just... No. Oh. Whenever he comes on, I always flinch away from the screen because I'm just something is going to happen. I don't trust him not to shock me with something. Yeah, his side profile is very nice. His nose is very sharp. He just has that the image of a bad boy. Oh my god. He looks as I mentioned, he looks like he owns a motorbike and, gets into a gang fight. He looks like he would be good at fighting. I'm someone who's been a lot of trauma going on with me. Maybe that might be also why I'm quite affected by him, because I see him and I know that, it's just a performance. But in my mind, I'm just there's something that I have to flinch away from because my late teens was a very dangerous time. Physically dangerous time and also emotionally turbulent time. And so he's very good at what he does. Very effective. He obviously works out. And he has a very nice, and it's due fashion illustration I draw as well. I'm not being weird, I'm just talking artistically, his proportions. Very fashion illustrative vibe, with the shoulders. It's very angry. Camera cut off. Enough about Yeonjun's shoulder. Let's talk about his voice. Very chameleon. For different songs or for different parts of the song, he would use different voice. His voice changes to fit the aesthetics of what is being expected. I find that very interesting. And he swears a lot. I don't know if that's a leitmotif for him or it's just for lollapalooza. With his voice being a chameleon, I will say two things. So one, when I perform poetry, my voice also changes. When I normally talk with people that I'm familiar with, my voice drops, and the more comfortable I get, the lower it goes. I speak and it sounds like I have a vocal fry. Usually when I talk to people that I don't know, my voice kind of goes up. That also happens when I switch languages. It's an infantilization thing that happens. Making a very conscious effort to use this voice. Otherwise, if I use my vocal fry, my vocal image is not that great. Hearing Yeonjun do the different voices, it was relatable for me. I know that IU is still very popular these days. I was such a big fan of IU when I was a teenager. What I'm trying to say is her voice, when she speaks normally, her voice also drops. So it's an interesting feature that happens. Yeonjun reminds me of IU. Singers have different voice when they sing and they speak, but for Yeonjun, he uses these different voices when he sings. It's interesting. Moving on, beomgyu. It's a really strange, when I look at him, he's pretty, but he's also handsome. I wonder if it's because of his Adam's apple and his voice. I loved his hair. I loved his long hair. I loved when he tied it up in a half ponytail. At the Waterstones near my house, there's this guy at the cashier. He always put his hair up in a bun. It just does something for me. I don't know. But my point is, beomgyu looks very good. I liked his get-up, a half skirt thingy over the trousers, and it looks good because he's tall. I just liked his get-up, and I like how his legs look. Perspective of an illustrator. How his legs look when he sat down. There was a bit where he sat down and he was wearing frayed jeans that were just big gaps. It wasn't even frayed, it was cut out. I really liked how his legs look because it's very male idols don't exercise their lower body and legs and things like that because otherwise it doesn't look good in outfits. So they only do the upper body. What else was I gonna say? Most of the memorable bits, the lyrics that I remember the most were the lyrics that he sang. Not sure why. And you know, towards the end where he was just, you know, in a white shirt and he was rocking out, I really like that as well. It felt to me like he didn't really get that much singing parts. And some of the singing parts were like kind of, you know, with Sorry. I love Sorry's voice, but my point is, it kind of, he's the one who's always, you know, being ridden. I'm talking about voice. His energy was interesting for me. Oh. I was not expecting that from beomgyu. What do I do now? I really like the collab, not the collab stage, it's like the subunit. Not the subunit, but you know, when there was Taehyun, beomgyu, and soobin. Thing is, I mentioned that beomgyu and Taehyun, I would like to see them like do a song together, and I guess they did a song together. I was saying it more to do with, I would like to hear them sing Panic at the Disco song. Like cover Panic at the Disco song together. That would be cool. beomgyu's energy is just really nice. And he was, you know, dancing around with the microphone, and then his smile is just very nice. And there was some bits where like the lighting hit him, and I was like, wow, this boy, his face is very like handsome. Because like with K-pop idols, you don't see the contours, you just see like the round smooth face. So to see him in Lollapalooza live, like the live stream thingy, to not have, you know, like the carefully edited, when the lighting hits, and I was like, oh, his face is not actually full here, and it's quite like, there are like angles to it, and I was like, oh, that's a very handsome face. That is a very handsome face. I also got quite emotional when the camera pans and you can see like the audience must be so proud of themselves, and I hope that they are, because even like I'm not the one on the stage, but I saw that, I'm just like, wow, so many people love them, and you know, they came to see them perform. I hope that they, you know, they're proud. It was just so moving to see that, and I'm happy for them. We're going to talk about Taehyun now. So Taehyun, he was just really cute, wasn't he? Also, I guess he's handsome with like the muscles and everything, but as someone who's much older than him, I just find him really cute. Like when he's like dancing or when he's speaking, and his smile is very nice. Yeah, he just has a very cute energy. There are bits where Yeonjun would do something that I'm just like, I'm scared, and then Taehyun would come on. I would like switch emotions, and then oh, okay, I'm safe now. Whenever I see Taehyun, I feel safe. He just has this very kind of energy that you can predict. Not like, you know, I'm not saying that he's predictable. I'm saying that he's reliable. I feel like he's the type of person who does things very methodologically, and I appreciate that. I appreciate him as someone who kind of offsets Yeonjun for me. Yeah, the energy was different, and Yeonjun's energy was very powerful, and Taehyun's energy was very, like, I just loved it. And his voice, of course, we have to talk about his voice. He does like incredible things with his voice. I appreciate that. He can do like the vocal fry, and then he goes up, and then he goes down, and then all his moves. I mean, 177 centimeters is very tall, but then when you line him up, it feels like he's small. He's small, but then you can really see like that he's tall when I need to remember her name. The artist came on. I loved her. I mentioned this already. Yeah, and then she's just so small. She's like half the size of I don't know who was it. Was it Kai? I'm not sure. It's like the energy. I feel like her energy matches with Taehyun a lot. I don't know why. I just like those two go well together. Like they should do like a collab. But maybe not. When you do a collab with someone, I think you need something that's quite, you know, different to bring more flavor to your work. But it's just so interesting. His moves are very powerful, and he obviously works out. And I wonder if he's doing it in order to compensate for his height. I don't think he should. You know, the benchmark that he uses to judge himself, I wonder what that is, and I hope it's not something that makes him feel less, because he deserves all the pride in the world, you know? Yeah, he just has a very good energy, and I like him as a performer. Okay, lastly, huening Kai. First of all, his English is very cute. I know he's trying very hard in order to pronounce things properly, and I noticed that only because I teach Korean and Japanese university students in the UK. I can see the effort that he's putting into it. I'm not sure if that's a good thing necessarily, because when you speak, you don't want the other person to feel like, oh, they're like tensing up in order to be able to figure out what that person is saying. But you know, everyone has their own different English, and nothing is right and nothing is wrong, and nothing is considered improper or proper. As a legacy of colonialism, English has become a global language, and nobody can claim it as theirs. And this is what I believe. Which is why his English is very cute, and I like that, and I hope that he doesn't feel too self-conscious when he speaks or pronounce things, because everyone has different styles of English, and there's no right way or wrong way to speak it. Secondly, I've noticed in K-pop, the maknae are usually the ones who can be relied on. He's a reliable maknae. His voice is also like very good. Like you can rely on it to do the right thing at the right time. It doesn't give the audience that feeling that you have to hold your breath in order to like, oh, please get it right. That kind of feeling that sometimes happens when you're a fan. But he doesn't, you know, he's just that. And it's just so smooth that to the point that I feel like I took him for granted a little bit. It was just so seamless and flawless, his voices and his performances. Goes to say about how good he is at what he does. You can trust him to carry the team when the youngs get tired. Now, his energy is also very good. I wonder if Taehyun's energy and Kai's energy are very good because they're like maknaes and they have to like be spirited. But I think that also comes with youth. I'm not sure. He seems like you have a good sense of humor in real life. And I loved him when he sang Anti-Romantic. The nunbit that he gave, the gaze that he gave was very effective. Like the half-closed eyes, the sleepy bedroom half-closed eyes when he was singing. And then there was like a little upward curve to the lips. Yeah. I wondered if he practiced that look, like in the mirror, those kind of like facial expressions and the way to self-express the emotions in the songs. It's probably muscle memory now, but I like how it was able to convey the feelings of the song, and he does it very well. And you know, it's just like, he should try acting. I've said everything that I wanted to say. As a whole, I really enjoyed the performance, and I'm glad I watched it. Yeah, and I enjoyed the collab stage, and oh, Jonas Brothers. I did not know that. I enjoyed their stage, I enjoyed their energy. I hope that after the show, they feel like I did well, we did well, and they did not cry out of regret, and instead cried out of happiness. And good job to, you know, the cameras that Hype brought in order to live stream for the fans. And also, shout out to the graphic designer, the one who does the graphics with the lyrics at the back. Well done. 수고하셨습니다. Whoever put together the set list would have probably decided together, right? The dancers were very good as well. And some of them I think they might have brought from, you know, they probably work together because they're on tour, right? Maybe that's it. But anyways, yeah. And also, the stylists, I wonder if they're my age because just that very punk rock feeling. By the way, I just wanted to point out that I'm not trying to be fashionable. These are my wrist braces. My wrists swell up, so I had to wear this in order to keep them from swelling. Because my joints aren't that good. Anyways, so that's my review of the Lollapalooza. I hope you enjoyed watching Lollapalooza. I hope you got something out of this review. Which were your favorite songs? Let me know. I'm always looking out for good songs to listen to and songs with good lyrics, with cool things that happens in the lyrics. I love words. This has been Riya. Thank you for watching. See you next time.